So, and then after I knock out a few of those, maybe we can do something fun. If you have a suggestion, let me know. But, oh, I was thinking a hopper one day, just straight hoppers. But right now we're doing mayflies cripples, size 14, which is a pretty standard size. We'll start with the maze. Need some threads. I'm going to use the UTC olive thread. Last time we used the dark brown, but I didn't like how the head looked on that. So we'll do the olive, and we will do mainly CDC patterns, because that's what I like to fish. Okay. Let's get the thread base going. Then we will use our CDL. This is Coq de Leon, a good tail fiber. I haven't used it for anything else. Some people tie other patterns with it, but I just used about 3 or 4 for the tail section of my mayflies. For the nymphs, I use a different, maybe a saddle hackle or something a little bit more substantial. And then this is very fine material, and also quite long, and so it makes for good tail material. Maybe we'll do some biot. Yeah, we could do some biot body. We were doing dubbing last time, but maybe do a little biot action here. Gotta find the right color biot though. There's the one. This is a nice olive color, but there's not many on here. So when I take the biot for the body, I'll pull it off of the stem, and then that little extra tag helps me wrap. And then I tie it in tip first. It'll build up for a taper, not much. Little drop of super glue. For durability. Can fish smell super glue? I don't know. It's been debated many times. Do hackle pliers. Grab the tag, wrap, one more, and secure. I didn't secure very well. Now it's secure. Trim it out. Cover the bump. Let's pick a wing feather. We might need a freshie. Might need a freshie for this. I like a calabatus color for the wing, but I'm not seeing any right away. I have this discard pile of feathers. I should maybe organize it a bit more. This one is the right color. But we'll use a freshie. Freshie frozen. Yeah, so the nature spirit has a color of CDC called calabatus, which is tan. And so we want a shorty, but a fully, ooh, this one's good. This is a real shorty. This one will be good. Good for wing. Spilling feathers all over me. Okay. Where's my shorty? Oh, there it is. All right, we'll just tie this little poofer in on top. One loose wrap. And then let's tie it a little bit further back. We're gonna draw it in just a touch. That's good. Couple wraps in front. Actually, that's too far back now. Let's adjust. Right there. And I drew it, that's too short. That's good. Some wraps in front. Let's trim off that back. And then we will get a hackle. This is a good feather, but it's a little bit short for a hackle. I could use both sides, but I don't want to. Let's get a new feather. A little bit longer. That's good. And then we'll just use one side. Preen them out. Clip it in. Trim it off. Save the feather. Let's split our thread. And insert the CDC. Spin it up. Spin it up, spin it up. Preen a little bit. Oh, one more spin. And then we wrap. Wrapping primarily behind. 1, 2, 3, go back in front, 1, 2, and let our thread unravel. Let's manage the legs. A few longies doesn't hurt. You'd be tempted to just clean out the underside, and for some hackled mayflies, that's good. But I wouldn't do it for CDC. Just let them be long. When they're wet, they'll integrate with the body. That just helps. Same with the nymphs. If you're tying in CDC legs, keep them longer than you would normal hackle legs. Let's do one more. And finished. This is a little biot body, CDC, done. Just a kind of standard go-to in my box. We'll do one more. The biot, the dubbing body, biot body doesn't matter. Biot is just a more classic look. If you're trying to impress your fellow fisher. Hello, sir. Hello, red wave. Red wave. Little CDL. There are 4 in there, that's fine. We use 4. Oh, there's more than 4, there's 5. Tie it in a little bit shorter. That looks good. Give it a wrap. Trim out the butts. Let's get a biot prepped. Where's that little bunch of biot I had? Here it is. There's one more good biot on here. The rest of these can be used for nymphs. There's one more good one, and I'm gonna just tear it away from the stem if I can get a hold of it. There, a little tag. And tie it in tip first all the way to the back. A little bit of thread build up for a taper, not much. A little bit of super glue for security. Let's go ahead and wrap the biot. Grab that little tag. And they make longer biots. But I usually just use these shorties. But they do make longer ones. I don't know if they're turkey. They must be turkey. Just different part of the feather. And then we'll secure it down. Lock it in. Trim it out. Cover the bump. We need a wing, one good shorty. No, they're not good wings. This is a good shorty, but it's we need two of that size. Oh, here's a good shorty. Yeah, that's a good wing feather, but we'll pair it with that other not so good wing feather. Match the tips. Bunch them together. And tie them in. I need to do this exact because it's going to be hard to draw these two small feathers, so we'll tie them in precisely the first time. Couple wraps in front. Trim out the back. You don't need to get it super close. Having that little tuft at the back could be a wing case if you wanted it, but it doesn't hurt. Let's get a hackle. It's not clipped well. Better trim it out. Save the tip because that can be a wing for another mayfly or a midge. So we'll save the tip. Split our thread. Insert the material. Spin it up. And spin, spin, spin. Spin, spin. Preen the feathers. Fibers, rather. And then we'll wrap behind, one slowly, 1, 2, 3, and then in front, 1, 2. I like the distribution of most behind, and then the wing has a slight forward tilt that's also like that. That's the only reason. You could do 50-50, you could do more in front, just your preference of what kind of fly you like. Let's manage the legs. That looks good. That looks good. And then give it a whip. Give it a whip. I need to find more olive biot. I'm sure I have it, but I need to find it. Tighten down your whip finishes. And trim it out. On to the next one. CDC done. Good fly. I think we'll do some cripples. Well, you can do a cripple on the standard dry fly hook. Maybe most people do. Or you could use a curved pupa hook. Let's try on the standard dry hook. Oh, I need some hare's ear, heavier hare's ear. Maybe it could be a different day. I'm not going to use the CDL for the tail on this one. I'm going to use a partridge feather because it's got a nice barred pattern. The fibers are soft yet thin. Makes for a good leg or tail material. Tie in the partridge. Trim out the butts. Body for this. What are we using for the body? We'll do pheasant tail. Do a pheasant tail cripple. Tom Rosenbauer would be proud. Yeah, here's the pheasant tail. I like the color of this one. Couple pieces of pheasant. Tip first, I'm going to trim out the tips just a tad. My thread is separating, so I just spin it up a little bit. We'll do a rib. Do black wire for the rib. Just I don't want. You could glue this. You could glue the pheasant tail down. Not a problem actually. But most pheasant tail patterns use a wire rib for durability. One wrap behind. With that being said, it'll still fall apart after a while. As we get closer and the pheasant's getting shorter, I'm just gonna hold it with my thumb and then travel it around. Hold it with my thumb, or my index rather. Travel it around, then secure it down. Trim it out. Counter wrap, so I wrap the pheasant clockwise. I'm going to wrap the wire counterclockwise, so it's going against, and I don't need to wrap this very tight, so I'm doing loose wraps, maybe only 3 wraps for the body. the more wraps you do, the more weight you add, and I don't necessarily want a lot of weight on this pattern. Not that this wire weighs much, but it can accumulate. Trim the wire. Let's get the little wire tag down. It's covered. And we're doing a cripple, so we'll have a hare wing and then a hackle. Some hackle. Because the body is a little bit darker, I don't want a bright wing, so I'm going to use a little bit darker colored deer hair to try to match the body. Trim it out. Then we'll clean it up. I need to throw that away. And we'll check our tips. There's a lot of shorts in here, but it'd be nice to keep those shorts. So I'm going to pinch down at the base. I'm going to pull the longs, keep the shorts, then even them out, and then trim the long butts. If you stack it with the long butts and the short butts mixed, you don't get a very good stack. Nimby! Nimby's channel is amazing. Nimby is the man. Stack your hair, we're losing some of it. And pull it out. Clean it up some more. Transfer the material from your left hand to your right hand and then back to your left hand. We want the butts. And then we tie it in tip first. The thread, we're using a 70 thread, so it's not strong, so you can't really crank like you would normal. So the tension is important. Ever so slightly. Then we'll tie in kind of a landing zone here for our hackle. Let's go back up and do a couple wraps in front just to perk up that wing. And then we'll come back around, trim this out nice and tight. This guy is a little long, so I'm just gonna pinch him out. Let's get a hackle. I have a dyed, here's a dyed grizz. Let's check the length. Length is okay. But maybe this one's better. little bit shorter. Go with the longer one. And then we will prep our hackle by doing a little tying point. Tying the hackle. One, two, three. Let's wrap the hackle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tie it off. Trap it. Don't trap your wing. Before I clip, I'm gonna travel the thread back to the eye, and we'll tie off at the eye. One more round, yeah. Then we'll clip our hackle, and we'll whip finish. Tighten it down, one more. Oh, got the wing. Let's reset. Three turns. Tighten down. Hook eye's okay. Trim it out. Take that down, take that out, take that one down. Okay. Little pheasant tail cripple. Nice little pattern. We'll do one more. Can you stand one more? I need one more. Yeah, I guess we'll do one more. Sorry if I'm boring you. I have a friend coming, and he said he does not have any flies. So we have to give him flies, which is good. Hopefully we catch some fish. What's working in your neck of the woods these days? What are you guys tying up? What's the hot pattern? I'd be interested to know. Do partridge for the tail. This one's bent a little bit. Play the curve. Oversize it. And wrap it. Let's curve them a little to the right. Trim it out. Pheasant tail. Let's do, this one is a little bit lighter color, so maybe this is darker. Yeah, this is a little bit, it's got some browns in it. So we'll try this different color pheasant tail for this one. Mix it up a bit. the stems, tie it in. Wire, black wire. Where did it go? Here it is. A little bit of black wire left. Not all the way back. One wrap in front. One wrap in front. And around, and around, and around, and around, and stop. Lock it in. Secure. Trim. Counter wrap. 1, 2, 2's enough if we can get there. 3, we'll do 2, 2.5. Trim it out. Cover the wire. Hare. Clean up the hair. Oh, gotta be better than that. I need a smaller tube for stacking this amount of hair. That big tube I have is not good for stacking this small amount of hair. Eyeball the tips. Try to even them off into my tube. Onto the palm. Give it a little shaky shake. And tease them out. Pinch the tips. Transfer and transfer. A little bit of under fur. Measure the wing. A little bit longer yet. Tie them in. I'm gonna do this one different. Instead of covering the hair, I'm gonna trim it short and then cover it with thread. See if that makes a difference. There was a lot of buildup in the last one, so that partridge is wacky. And then we'll cover this with thread best we can. Wrap more toward the eye. Couple wraps in front. Perk it up. Back behind. Hackle, trim tie-in point. I don't know if that matters. That's how I was taught. Tie in the hackle. Wrap 1, 2, 3, 4. Trap the hackle. Do one more. Travel the thread. Clip the hackle. Whip finish. Ooh, trapping the wing. Come on, there we go. Clip it out. I didn't tie this in well, and there's a couple of hackles kind of pointing back. So I'm gonna just knock those out real fast. This doesn't matter. This is just for my personal satisfaction. Another pheasant tail cripple with a wild partridge tail. All right. I think it's time to switch it up. The hare's ear. Hare's ear is on my mind. There's a hare's ear called the trigger point hare's ear, which is kind of cool. Here's some 2.8s. Let's grab a couple of these. And then some 14s. A couple of these. Slide that 2.8 on that 14. Looks good. And then the thread. I'm going to switch threads to this red. The red is not a flat thread. It might be waxed. But it builds up faster than the flat thread, which I want for this nymph. Especially to lock in that bead. And then it's common to have a hare's ear with a red thread head. That's kind of a common look. I had a little mask. There's a little hare's ear mask on my desk. So here's part of it. Here's part of our actual hare's mask. So you can use these guard hairs as a tail, but I've chopped most of them away. There's still a little bit above the eyebrow. We'll see what we can do. Doesn't need much of a tail, and you could, there's so many different, you could just substitute it with hackle, like a hackle tail. So I've got a little bit of that hare's mask. I'm going to pull out the under fur, leaving just the guard hairs. And well, that's too much. Thread control. One loose. Lengthen it a bit. There we go. There we go. Okay. This dubbing box has some hairs here darker, so we'll use some of that from the dubbing box. And then the classic hairs here has a gold rib, flat tinsel. But I'm not feeling the golden rib. Copper wire is fine. Yeah, I guess we'll just use copper wire. Yeah, we'll do the wire rib first. So this is a thinner, darker copper, brighter. We use the brighter copper for the rib. And start the rib toward the eye. Tie it in, tie it back. Not all the way back, about there. We'll do a rapid dubbing. Then we'll use this darker hairs here for the body. I'm teasing out just a bit and then I'm smushing it on the thread. And smush it on the thread. I'm doing this to check my length. And when I'm satisfied with the length, then I'll tighten the rope. So I have the material on there and I'm going to roll in one direction to tighten the rope. I have too much dubbing. I have 1 pinch too much dubbing. I'm going to start the wrap behind the wire, then front, and in 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 front. All the way to the back there. The longies, the strays. Having strays on the hare's ear is not a big deal. Let's wrap the wire. I'm gonna do this one tighter than I did that pheasant tail, because this is kind of feature of the fly. On the pheasant tail cripple, that is. I'm gonna go right up to the bead, lock it in. And then I'm going to thorax. You would do a wing case and a thorax, but because this is a jig hook, I'm gonna do the hot spot. I guess with a little bit of this olive. You could do peacock herl if you wanted to stay au naturel. I'm tearing up this eye stub so it has shorter fibers. And then I'll do a loose rope. Doing a loose rope, I don't have to do any leg material. Keep this kind of simple. And then I'm gonna seat the thread behind. Let's tease out some of that eye stub. The color's not matching great, but what can you do? Let's tease out some of this eye stub. Tease out some of this eye stub. I'm gonna bring it forward. And then instead of cutting it, I'm gonna rip it. There's one like loop. Yeah, there we go. Still a little bit heavy. I could have blended the hare's ear dubbing in with the ice stub that way. Actually, I think that would have been better. And then we'll finish her off. Try to sink that thread down. A little too much buildup of the red. Not good, not good. Little modified hairs, simplified hairs there. Knock that out. Oh no. Drop my bead, I'm never gonna find it. Need a new one. I think another hare's air nymph. We gotta change it. We'll do, yeah, we gotta change it. We gotta change it. We'll stay nymphy, but we're not gonna do another hare's air. Something wire body. Yeah. So we did that wire body prince, which everybody said, oh, it looks like a copper john. And the copper john is an amazing pattern. We'll do another wire body. Okay. 2 biots for the tail. Black? Brown? I guess brown. These are smaller, so these are good for the tail. Toward the bottom of the biot has smaller pieces. So we'll do 2 for the tail. And we'll tie 1 on each side. I don't like to cross them. That's a good length. 1 on this side. And then 1 on this side. Going slow. Tight wrap down at the bottom. Flare them out a bit. Come back up. Trim off those tags. No, I think they're fine. Okay. We had the, we'll do multicolor. Copper red. Copper red. We'll do some red wire. Copper red. Maybe she copper green. No, we'll do copper red. We'll do the red wire instead of using that bling. We'll do a more muted copper, which this spool is on its last legs. And then we'll tie these 2 in together. Tie them in together all the way down. And wrap. The rotary is good function for the wrapping of this wire. Kind of holding it at an angle. You want them to sit flat together, which they're not doing. It's not doing a great job right now. Yeah, this is not looking very good. Maybe red was not a good choice for the wire. Actually, red copper john is one of the best colors. in my humble opinion. Clip it out. Instead of the peacock, I'm gonna do just a pinch of, the fly has enough flash on it. So I'm gonna do a pinch of the natural hare's ear. Yeah. And this will be our thorax. So maybe this is a hare's ear nymph. This will be our thorax. Now we need legs. For the wire body prints, you use the biot for leg. But let's do something different. I don't want to use CDC. A nice soft tackle would be nice if we can find the right color. Lighter color would be better. Here's a nice light hen soft tackle. And smaller. No, we'll just go with this. We'll go with this. So the feather I picked is too long to wrap. You could wrap it, but then it kind of dominates the whole fly. You could do little bunches on each side, but it might get tricky. So I'm gonna clip it where I want the length of the leg. I'm gonna clip it. I'm gonna trim it out. Not too heavy. I got a little material there. Oh, I picked the wrong thread to do this. This thread does not split well. And we got a little split. Insert the leggies. Oh man, we biffed it. Gotta do it again. Do it again. Where's my feather? Gotta be more careful. Trim out the feather. Split the thread. Gotta hold it. And then oh, am I not even in there? Oh man. Now I'm nervous. Got it. And spin it up. Slowly spin, slow. The soft tackle sometimes needs some coaxing. And spin one more time. Then I'll wrap nice and slow, paying attention to where the material's going. That's one wrap, looks good. Before we go any further, we'll let our thread unwind and we'll take out some of this material from the top. This is the bottom rather. Take out some from the bottom. And then the top. Leaving, still way too much and a little bit long. And we'll tie off. This is a soft hackle wire body hare's ear concept. Okay. I think this might be it for today. Knock out a little bit more of that leg. And down here. Yeah, one side's heavier than the other. That's what's happening here. I'm gonna mess them up a bit. So this is what we got to. We got our hare's ear trigger point. We got some biot CDC mayfly duns, some pheasant tail cripples, and a weird wire body nymph. That's it. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Maybe tomorrow.